people obey. I don't care. It's quite a rough ride, just like life. But I'm kinda patient, 'cause only time will tell. It's gonna go up, so you better stay calm. And grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. I am live. I'm live with a killer, but don't get too scared. She's actually pretty nice about it. Jessica, the Black Widow, Borga, welcome. It's really a pleasure to have you on.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
You know, I've watched several of your fights. I was actually at one live in Tampa. Brutal. I have an MMA background, right, for years and years, and I'd never been to a bare knuckle fight before. I've actually met Mike Perry quite a few times, who I love. I mean, that dude, he really is. He's funny.
He's definitely a character. Yeah.
He's a character. I've met him quite a few times through Karate Combat. But then I coming out and seeing you fight for the first time. What was that? It might have been a year and a half ago, I think.
Yeah, a year and a half. It should have been, because I've fought twice since then. So yeah, that's about right.
Hulk Hogan was there.
Yeah. A lot of stuff, like a lot of famous people, they have gotten into it. They really go and enjoy the fights. Once you go to one, it's like it just changes you. I came from an MMA background, so once I did my first bare knuckle fight, it was over from there. That's just where I belong.
Why do you think that is? Because bare knuckle. I mean, I had one fight last year, and I broke my hand. I basically threw one punch, and well, no, there was a couple, I guess, but the shot that knocked him out literally broke my hand. And I'm like, if this were bare knuckle, I wonder how much worse that would have been, because that hurt.
Yeah, there's definitely the most common thing that you see is broke bones, or cuts. Cuts seem to make it look more, violent and more dangerous. But honestly, I got worse injured in MMA. To be honest with you, you don't have to worry about, head kicks and elbows and knees, and there's a lot more actual dangerous things to happen with MMA, more so than bare knuckle. A lot of people don't think that because you see all the blood and gore, but for me, I think I feel like I belong there more, because I do better in chaos. I was raised in violence, and this is probably the most violent of the sport, supposedly. So this is where I thrive.
I've actually seen gosh, I can't remember the name of it now. Leduc. What do you know who I'm talking about? The guy where they use headbutts and everything. And I saw something with Connor.
Oh God, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Do you know, is that a thing? Or was that just a fun night with the guys out?
I have no idea if it's a thing. I did see it, and I was wondering the same thing. So I have not heard anything about it, and I just happened to see it, and I'm like, interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting. Guy throws headbutts kind of like punches, and or like a Thai guy would throw like an elbow, like a straight elbow. I found it interesting because I really think they're trying to lean into this like most brutal combat sport ever. And let's be real, that would make the cake.
Yeah, everyone loves watching it. I mean, it definitely, violence sells. So it definitely would make sense. The only thing I would question whether they would allow it is the commission. The commission already has a hard time accepting the fact that bare knuckle is back and around, even though that's what it started with, really.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why they went to the gloves and stuff like that. So now they're having a hard time going back to bare knuckle.
Interesting. Well, I mean, having been, I used to be a fight promoter, and I would always sit cage side for all the events, obviously. And, when heavyweights are in there throwing shots, you can feel them in your own legs just sitting. But the difference in that, it's like in MMA, I would feel the power of guys, but in the bare knuckle, it's kind of everything. It's almost like the IMAX of fighting, because it's the sounds, and it just sounds and is so much more. And then, like you said, there are a lot of cuts, little things like that look a lot bigger when somebody's covered in their own blood or the other person's blood. It could be a simple head cut,
Yep.
but all of that mixed together just creates quite the concoction of destruction, I guess, is because when I saw your fight, yours was quick. Actually, you
Yeah.
finished that fight really quick.
I
And
usually do.
yeah, I'm like, does she ever have to fight? Because she could just kind of show up and say hello to everybody, sell some tickets, and then it's over in 10 minutes. It's almost like the female Tyson. I remember back in the day, we'd always get so pissed off paying for Tyson pay-per-views that were over in 9 seconds. And it's like, what is this?
I get that a lot. The female Mike Tyson of this generation, I guess you could say, which is awesome. I mean, it's a complete honor to even be called that. But yeah, I happen to have power, so they're usually over pretty fast. I do best at 145. My last fight, I actually cut to 35. Just because I wanted to fight and she was not going to she was not going to fight me at 45. So
yeah, I saw that fight. That was freakish. That was
it
I've
was
had
one
my
of
nose
those
broken
things that don't
twice.
know.
And
Yeah, they don't
watching you,
normally. Yeah, it doesn't normally happen that way, but every now and then you get a freak thing that happens,
mhm,
and just happen to be the right angle and the right um, for that break.
right.
That's
Yeah,
happens.
I remember you. I remember this look you had on your face, like you were stunned that were even possible, and it was alarming in a way because I was watching, and then a lot of people we were all texting back and forth, like, "Oh shit, this just happened," and it was a shock, obviously to you as well.
Yeah, it
But
was definitely a feeling I wasn't familiar with because I found out afterwards what exactly happened. And if my nose breaks all the time. So the nose break is nothing. I actually, if you follow my MMA career, I fought 3 rounds with 2 fractures in my nose and a broke jaw. And I hit it from my corner and everything. So broke bones don't phase me. But the feeling that I felt was so unnatural and I knew something was seriously wrong. My eye was actually in my cheek, my sinus cavity. So
oh god,
the orbit floor broke and my eye was in my cheek and I felt this like warm weird sensation. The pain wasn't bad at all. It was just a weird warm sensation and I was like and I couldn't see anything. They wouldn't have let it continue anyway. But it was very odd break. And if you watch any of her fights, she's never done anything. The power wasn't there. It wasn't anything about her. It just happened to be the right angle,
hmm
honestly.
and I think that the what you experienced was called shock.
Yeah, it was
That was
definitely something.
shock.
I knew something. It was progress for me because usually my ego will just fight through anything. But I mean, I don't think they would have let it continue anyway because the doctors are usually pretty good
Yeah,
about stopping if you can't see.
especially in a
But
bare knuckle match. It's no.
yeah, yeah. I knew something was seriously wrong. They said if I would have tried to even continue, if they would have let it continue, then I probably would have severed my optic nerve. And the fact that
Oh,
I didn't sever my optic nerve and that I only had corneal abrasions and there was no retina detachment was extremely lucky. So I got very lucky.
yeah, and I mean to look at you now, it looks like nothing happened, which is a
Yeah, no,
shocker as
it's
well.
still unfortunately I have to go back under because they messed up the first surgery.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh no.
they put the plate in that's actually there's 4 different plates. 3 of them are staying, but the one that's actually acting as my floor-bit wall or my orbit floor, more like that one is like a mesh plate and it's a titanium mesh plate and they put it in incorrectly. So now it's actually facing my optic nerve instead of facing down so that there's no risk if I get hit again. So they actually had to take that one out.
So you can't fight again until that's been concluded.
Yeah, which is the same amount of a healing time as it normally is. It's 6 months for full healing
Oh
of the
no.
bones anyway. So I'm going to get that plate removed in February and I'll still be able to be cleared at the beginning of May.
Wow. Oh.
I know everyone's like, oh my God, you're fighting again. I was like, listen, I've fought with 2 titanium plates in my jaw now for like 6 years. So
But at what point do we call you Iron Woman? Because like you're going through a whole transformation right now.
yeah, I was actually thinking about changing my name to Jessica the Terminator.
There you go. That
Instead of
that
the
would
Black
be
Widow.
that would be suitable for sure. Yeah. How many times have you broken? I've had it twice, and both of them sucked. I don't want to do that again.
Nose or other bones? Because I've had so many. I've had my jaw broke, and those are where the titanium plates are now. I'm doing bare knuckle, and everyone's like, "That's just crazy," but it really, you heal. Like people don't like. they can't wrap their head around the injuries like that. I've had my nose broke over 5 times, surgically fixed multiple times now. It just, once it happens one time, it seems like it's very common to happen again. It just is
Right.
like a domino effect, and at some, usually at most points, it doesn't even hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even think having my nose broke hurt as much as resetting it. That was kind of like
Yep.
gravel and gravel, and that was pretty unseating for sure.
Yeah,
Uh,
broke bones don't hurt very much. Ligaments hurt way more.
yeah, yeah, and they also say too, like even small fractures are worse to heal because you can't set them.
Yep.
That's happened to me with my thumb once. That was sucked, and my thumb actually blew up the size of a blimp. So
Oh,
what really pushes you to drive like, I mean, listening to you talk about this, oh, I've broken everything, you're like a crash car dummy, and you just can't wait to get back in there and do it again. What exactly is it that pushes you to continue given all that's happened?
passion or trauma, one or the other.
I think we're all addicted to trauma a little bit in some way, apparently.
Yeah, I feel like once you have so much in your life and you feel like that's like where you belong, and it's just that's where you feel the most it's common to you. So that's where I feel like, I do the best, is because I was born in chaos. I was born in violence. I turned it into something that, I live for, but instead it's like much deeper for me. It's passion. Passion is like everything. There's a lot of people that go through this life without finding their passion and without being able to experience that. And to me, that's just like, I'm very lucky to have that.
Hmm. Yeah, I always say on this channel, passion to profit.
Yep.
If you can follow what you're passionate about, profit will come in time.
Yep.
And,
It'll
and
all
it really does take that passion to push through the downsides of things. And without it, it's just something you did and you walk away and you start new with something else. It's going to be the same thing. So yeah, that's great. Um,
It's definitely, I feel like everything aligns when you find that passion and you can teach someone, you can help them in the aspect of I like this fight.
yeah, it's quick. So I thought I'd share it while we chatted. It's
Yeah, this
almost
one.
over already.
Yeah, she's a two-time world champion boxer. She fought the distance with Clarissa Shields. She was a very game opponent. She's actually usually bigger. She usually fought at 155. But this one, yeah, this one was very good. This was a pivotal moment in my life. Everything that I worked so hard for to make history and be the first ever female to get a bare knuckle, and in bare knuckle history to get a knockout. Especially against such a game opponent in Dubai.
That was in Dubai. Okay, I didn't even
Yeah.
realize that. I just
Yeah,
had
that was the
Dubai
first
chocolate
card
for
that
the
they
last
had
time.
there, and it was a 2-day event, which is usually it's only one day.
Wow. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to watch you do it. And in seeing a lot of Mike Perry, he talks a lot about, I'm built for this, because a lot of guys, they're used to the gloves and the padding. And they typically say that the gloves are really to protect your own hands, not necessarily the other person. Do you think that's actually true as it translates to bare knuckle? Because it almost looks like people that can't deal with the pain of bare knuckle don't do as well as they would. Like you said, this girl was like a two-time champion boxer, blah blah blah. Those are big padded gloves. Getting hit with some bone to the face is a little different.
Yeah, it is. I mean, she had fought, bare knuckle before, and she went the distance. So she was like, saying that she had more experience because she's been there longer. I said it has nothing to do with experience. It has, it really, I mean, experience always helps. Don't get me wrong, but it has nothing to do with that in bare knuckle. I'm a different breed when it comes to going against. I'm always aiming to be the hardest person that they've ever went against, the hardest fight that they're gonna have. They're gonna remember me regardless.
Yeah, and anybody that's watched any of your fights remembers you too, I'm sure. That's an understatement.
It's a love hate thing because they're like you said, it's over too fast, or they like to see the blood and the war and stuff like that. But it's also, like you said, it's nice because you don't see a female finishing opponents like that. You don't see females ending their opponents the way I do.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously you're, I mean, in my opinion, like the queen of bare knuckle. And then I'm also a big fan of Dakota Ditcheva over at the PFL.
Oh yeah,
I'm obsessed, man. I'm
she's a very
obsessed.
good fighter.
She's so skilled and so talented, and obviously, I think some of that is genetics that just got passed down.
It does help.
It does help. It helps to have a championship fighter mother, how is it? I'm always curious. How is it at BKFC? Like, is it all? Does it always? It feels from a viewer's perspective like it's always crazy. Is it really like that, or is
Yeah.
it just the show?
Honestly, I think it's with every promotion, especially the ones like they're still fairly new, so they're still getting all their cards in the right place. I have so much respect for Dave Feldman. He really does care. He tries to do the best he can for each of the fighters. I really do think that like there's so many people in the promotion that actually care. It's just there is always going to be sometimes that it's going to be the people who don't appreciate the fighters, but in this promotion, I'm happy to be here, and I know that it's going to get better.
Yeah, it looks to continue growing. I'm really curious to see what happens with Mike Perry after that.
Yeah. We definitely care about like we our sponsors are everything.
Mhm.
Honestly, any fighter, that's the where we are able to get more from than the promotion. We only get paid when we
100%.
fight, so I only fought usually once a year. I was blessed to be able to fight twice last year, but now I'm sitting on the sideline again. But usually I am anyway, so it's like it is what
Yeah,
it is. But our sponsors are everything.
sponsors are everything. I mean, back when I managed
Speaking of,
fighters, I had some guys on the UFC, and we get their fight pay from the UFC, but man, the sponsors could be 3 to 4 times that easily. So
yeah,
when they changed that, that really screwed a lot of people, man. And yeah,
that's the reason why I actually turned down UFC for Bellator is because
really,
one of the reasons anyway. Bellator offered me like almost 4 times as much as UFC Contender Series did, and I knew I got to keep my sponsors.
yeah, because it's too much money, man. It's too much money to let go of that. Back in the day, a lot of friends of mine, like Daniel Strauss and Chris Curtis, and a lot of those guys I knew back when I was a promoter, and I would train with a lot of those guys. Never trained with Daniel Strauss, but knew him pretty well, and they were all doing really well at Bellator. So it's a lot of the stuff keeps pulling me and calling me, and now I'm so old that I'm just like I can't do any of this shit anymore. If I can't finish it in 30 or 40 seconds, I just want to go to bed. I
That's
don't
what a lot like people don't understand. We have a time limit on this,
for sure.
and it's just we love doing it, and it breaks us when we're not able to do it. So yeah,
'Cause what do you
having
have
a
after that?
yeah,
But you have a
exactly.
nonprofit. So when this is all over, you have a nonprofit that you're going to be able to continue building further. Tell me
Yep.
a little bit about that. It's Widow's Web
Yeah.
for
Widows Web
domestic violence.
Incorporated is brand new. We actually just had our first charity event in
Is this to
October.
benefit all the women you knock out in 15
Yeah.
or 20 seconds, or is this something else?
That would be pretty good. No.
I'm
I,
here to
that's
support you. We're friends no matter what.
you know what? There's most of them I am actually okay with afterwards, but there's I don't know. There's still some that I have a little animosity towards just the way they act. Sometimes they're not game opponent. They don't show the respect. But my Widow's Web Incorporated, I'm very excited about because, like I said, I was kind of born in violence, born in chaos, and this is what gave me the idea. I wanted to do something for years, and I wanted to be a little different than most nonprofits for domestic violence survivors. I was raised in domestic violence. I'm actually writing a book, and it'll be out at the beginning of the year next year. And I'm very excited about this because people that have heard tidbits of information on my life and my story is just amazed at where I came from and to be able to accomplish what I have.
Mhm.
So I wanted to show that, that motivation and inspiration for people because of what I came from. My father tried to take my life multiple times when I was growing up. He was an alcoholic. He was also very violent and aggressive even when he wasn't drinking. It just got worse when he drank, and then I continued that cycle with exes, and it just was like one of those things that until you start to heal and still start to take the steps to be able to achieve greatness no matter who you came from or what you came from. And that's what I want to help inspire others. I'll never give up, no matter how hard it is. It's always a light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing. So
Right.
that's what my nonprofit's a mobile safe house, It's different than just having a stationary safe houses that are all over the United States.
Right.
This one's different because it's mobile. So if they ever get that address disclosed at a stationary one, we can take them and move them from safe house to safe house or get them out of the situation that they're in.
It's crazy that even
It'll
has
be
to
the
be.
first one too. So I was like, I want
Yeah.
something different and something, and help them with their mental health. And I want it to be a one-stop shop to be able to help them.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because it really we are creatures of pattern, and once a pattern's been established, it's really difficult to be aware that you continue putting yourself in a similar pattern over and over again. And so yeah, it really does start with the mind. If you can retrain the mind and get people to break those patterns.
It's the hardest thing anyone will ever do is
Yep.
to rewire your brain from, all the CPTS, all the stuff that your brain is used to and not continue the cycle. It's one of the hardest things that anyone will ever face. It's always been me versus me is my hardest opponent. So
Yeah, that's 100% true. At the same time, I feel like if a lot of us, we can look at our lives and look back. I have nothing but regret for so many different things. You know what I mean? But like I should have been in the NBA. But if I wouldn't have been in the NBA, I wouldn't have my daughters. I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have a lot of the things that I have now. And it's like we can look back and think, oh gosh, I wish I wouldn't have done that, or I wouldn't have been there, or what have you. But it's also a big part of what makes us who we are. Like, would you be the champion you are today? Would you have the drive? How many lives are you touching right now as a result of the life that you had and had to suffer through? But what did that experience actually do to make you who you are today?
yeah,
So,
that's exactly what I try to tell everyone in my book and all the speeches that I do around the country. I go to schools and stuff like that, and I'm like, this is not a story for pity. I'm not telling you this out of pity. I'm telling you that is what molded me into the individual I am, and all these experiences. All that's your
it's my cat,
I
it's
thought
midnight. And,
I thought it was
it's
mine.
funny. Nobody ever sees Midnight because she's typically like the night cat and hides, and she always thinks she's hunting shit. But yeah, that's Midnight.
But that's what I tell everyone. This is not a story for pity. I'm not sharing this out of I don't want anyone to feel bad or sorry for me. This is who I'm grateful for my past, and I'm grateful for where I came from, because without it, I would not be the savage I am today. I would not be able to accomplish all the things that I'm able to. So yeah, I'm grateful for it. But like I said, like my sponsors and everything that's been helping, even with my nonprofit, Eye Candy Energy, they have an I Can movement, and it just fits perfectly with what my mission is. So I can motivate, I can inspire, I can empower.
Mhm.
So it's perfect.
It is perfect, and I definitely think that you're a great person for it. And I know you're also kind of a spokesperson for Stetch
Yeah,
with the secrets token that's getting ready to launch here in January. And I know that a lot of my viewers, I've mentioned it here and there. Full
it's awesome.
disclosure, I'm like a VP of tech for the company. And so we're getting ready to roll out everything, and it's going to get really big and really juicy here quick. What
I
got
was
you
wondering
involved?
what started blockchain exactly, because there's a couple questions I still have about it too. Being a spokesperson and everything, I want to know as much as I can about it.
Yeah, I mean, what started blockchain? I mean, really, it was a big middle finger to the institutional banking cartels that were controlling everything. So, somebody by the name of Satoshi Nakamoto, which obviously isn't a real person, but a group of cyberpunks ultimately worked together to create this permissionless system that gets rid of the middlemen in
Mhm.
finance. And so, you're able to send something of value from one person to another without anyone in the middle taking a cut, and you control your own money. So, and that's just transformed into everything it is today. I mean, it's from there we moved into like Ethereum. So we introduced smart contracts. So now you can transfer money from point A to point B and have kind of an if this then that component to it, where it's like, if you do this for me, this is how much money you're going to get for it, and it's all automatic. So yeah, it's kind of crazy how we went from basically what is referred to as digital gold, or store of value, which is ultimately what Bitcoin is, for what is coming now, which is the tokenization of the entire world across the board. So
That's
yeah.
what makes it kind of anonymous as well.
Yeah, well, because in crypto, you have an address. It's just a string of numbers and letters. And
Yeah.
depending on the chain, it can be, short or long. And nobody knows who owns that address. People can track addresses in crypto, but nobody knows who's who unless somebody comes out and says, "This is my wallet," which
Yeah.
most people aren't going to do. So yeah, your blockchain transactions are pretty private for the most part. And now there's even additional layers to that are purely private. So you can't even see what address is doing what. That's like Midnight, my cat Midnight. I actually got her and named her before Cardano's privacy layer was announced, which, my other cat's Cardano, right? And then I've got Midnight, who, yeah, it's all weird how that happens. So like Midnight is basically going to add privacy to everything Cardano related, cross-chain interoperability between Bitcoin and like XRP and some of these others. So it while blockchain itself is anonymous, it's not necessarily private without a privacy layer, and we're growing into that as well. So yeah, as it relates to like Sets token, people that are going to the resort, if they want to go to the resort and maybe they want to be anonymous, they don't necessarily want credit card bills like, oh, I got a room here, I got drinks, I got food, whatever.
Yeah.
They'll be able to use the Sets token instead and kind of keep everything, a lot more private. Isn't necessarily the word, but at least anonymous.
Yeah, that's way better to use that than regular cash, in my opinion.
Right. Well, and there's also like a kind of a tokenization element to it where, one of the things that really makes blockchain go is supply and demand, right? Supply versus demand is what raises the value in everything. And so, you can take any token like Bitcoin, for example, and as demand rises, so to put it in a perspective, back in 2017, 2021, we had these market peaks. And as more people were trying to accumulate it, it drove up the price because there were less people willing to sell, right? Mm-hmm. So, and that's kind of the nature across the board, right? Marketing, hype, all that stuff plays a role. But to really bump prices or value of a crypto asset up, you need it to be in demand. You need people to want it or need it for more than just speculation, which brings in like utility token, which is ultimately what Setch is. It's a token. It's going to have a lot of utility that you know all about. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of exciting what's coming down the pipe here in January.
Yeah, it really is. I'm excited. This is the first crypto that I've really taken in the last year on getting to know and invest in. So like just invest in my future kind of thing. So but I know it's not like a investment, but it's so interesting to me, and it's just, I think it's going to blow up. I really do.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't say Setch is an investment in that sense,
Right.
but it's definitely something that, as people are buying them already, because you can get it through the app, or you can get it on like 1inch or Uniswap or whatever. And people are getting them because they want to use them at the resort and some of the other use cases coming, like the Metaverse. The thing is that
that's cool too.
Yeah. Have you seen any of the Metaverse stuff yet?
I haven't seen it. I just heard about it, and I think that is the coolest idea.
So I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was gonna be hokey. I thought, okay, a Metaverse. Yeah, I get daily updates on this, and it is the tech they're using is Unreal 5, which you probably don't know much about. It's a game development engine, but in Unreal 5, there's technology called MetaHero. And they can literally take you and create a 3D ultra realistic version of you, pipe an AI model into you, and now you're a living, breathing individual in this metaverse that looks exactly like you.
That's so cool.
And I've been seeing like screen grabs and videos of like what is being built, and it is no bullshit. Like it is no bullshit.
Nice.
I thought it was going to be hokey, like we're going to build a metaverse. No, it's going to be like a legit world, like a living world that people are going to be able to participate in.
That's so cool.
And of course, they're going to use the Setch token for everything in it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. And there's so much stuff that I happen to know that you don't yet, which is interesting.
Yeah. There's a lot of I need to. I need to make more time to be able to go over and sit down and talk and stuff like that, now that I have a little bit more time.
Right. Well, it's not just that. It's like legally, like nobody knows. So there's like 5
Yeah,
people that know a lot of what's coming down the pipe. You know what I mean?
that's
And we've all
true.
got NDAs. So, it's just everything has to take its time, and it'll all come in due time. But January, this launches, and I'm sure there's going to be like a huge party event between like the 31st, New Year's Eve into January. So, and I'm sure there are going to be people like accumulating, because I have to try and educate everybody about it. So I'm working on some new ways to try and do that.
Yeah, yeah. Letting people know, like, just in introducing anything is the biggest part of it, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people hear crypto and they immediately think, oh, that scam, right?
Yep.
And they think
Yep.
all crypto is a scam. And that's sad, really, because some of that is a driven narrative by those that want to stay on, the banking systems of yesteryear.
Yeah.
Politically, there's a lot of political involvement in trying to do that. A lot of like BS narratives related to crypto. Yeah, scams happen all the time. Stay away from meme coin trash. Stay
They
away
don't see the
from.
value in the asset. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if you're buying an asset with no actual use case, then there's no real value. That's what we call a meme coin, like fart coin. I don't know what fart coin does, but I know it has a huge market cap because people think they're going to buy $1,000 and get rich tomorrow. That's not the approach. The more, I always try to tell people, the more you can learn and understand about what blockchain really does and what it is, start with Bitcoin, grow into the altcoin market, understand the difference between a meme coin, a utility token, or a security. Some are securities. But now we have an administration that is so pro crypto. Yes, he's been benefiting substantially from his interest in the crypto space. And some of it isn't that great. I wish they would have never launched like their own meme coins. I think that was kind of silly. I'm not even convinced Trump like understands what the hell whoever did that. They're like, hey, Dad, we're gonna make a meme coin about you. Sure, whatever. Is it whatever. I don't think he really has a clue. But I think he does know Bitcoin. I think he understands it a lot more now than he did in his first term when he introduced the taxation of crypto. I think he's kind of regretting that now. But it is what it is. There's some stuff happening here very soon, like the Clarity Bill is getting ready to pass, which is going to make a lot of the illegal shit that's been happening in crypto illegal officially, and so a lot of that's going to be dying down. So
maybe that'll get a different, outlook on that.
Yeah, well, it's like the problem is a lot of people they like Bitcoin, it's like it's down $4,000. Like I was trying to educate people when it was $4,000, telling everybody they should probably get into it or look into it. And and then it goes all the way up to $67,000 and people are still buying. And then that's when they're finally buying it, right? They're not buying low when they're being told you should do it.
Yeah.
They're buying high. And then the market peaks and it starts dumping, and they're like, I just got scammed out all this money. It's like, no,
should have done it earlier.
you just don't understand what you're doing yet.
So it's just a lot of ignorance to it. They just don't do the research on it. Like you said, it's they don't understand it.
Right. Well, the more people realize that blockchain technology is 1,000% the future, when Larry Fink, the biggest asset manager on the planet, like I'm pretty sure he's standing chairman for the World Economic Forum. When this guy says that all traditional finance, real world assets, everything that we know is about to be tokenized on the blockchains, listen, because, he's the one that's probably pushing that to all the companies, the DEI, the ESG, like all these initiatives, these all spawned from him and his lectures. It's like the man has international power. And when he says the world is about to be tokenized, it's about to be token. And it's already started. It's literally
you can just see from like everything. It's everything is going to be electric. Like everything's going to be working off technology.
100%. So I always try to tell people, find a utility token that you like, that you're actually going to use, whether it's Sedge token or even a layer one asset. Like, layer one would be something like a Bitcoin, Ethereum, a Cardano, right? It's like the base chain that other assets are being built to do different things, right? So it's like get involved with one, make transactions with it, use it, play with it, start understanding it, and then you can branch out. That's the best advice, because it's just a matter of time until we're all going to have digital IDs. They're all going to be tokenized. It's all going to be on a blockchain. Like the sooner you get your head wrapped around it, the better you're going to be long term.
Yep. Like you said, get involved early.
So your next fight is do you already have an opponent that you're thinking about, or is that like not even?
Yeah, there's definitely a list that I've been thinking about. I want the rematch, but I want the rematch at my weight class. I feel like if you're going to be the queen of violence, there should be no stipulations. There should be, you shouldn't only fight people at one weight class. The queen of violence should be fighting anyone and everyone at whatever weight they are the best at. To be the queen of violence in all respect. That's just how I feel about that. So I do want the rematch at 145. She's made interviews saying that she'd fight at 45. So I don't understand the conflict there. But if she doesn't fight me, then I would fight the only person that she's lost against, which is Helen Peralta. She's already agreed to fight me at 145. Or I have people lined up in my division. Aspen Ladd already called me out. So I'm excited about anyone and everyone. And 2026 they better get ready for a newer, revised version of me, because I always come back stronger.
Well, hell yeah, because every time something happens, you got new plates. You're going to be like the invincible woman here soon.
Yeah. I got extra protection.
Right. Yeah, pretty soon she's going to have Wolverine claws and they'll just pop out mid-fight. No, I mean, I'm excited to see what comes for you in 2026, because I definitely think your future looks bright. And I mean, it's an exciting time. And honestly, the way you've bounced back from the last fight, I mean, even mentally, you were immediately like right out there, like, listen, this shit happens and we're going to heal. We're going to get these surgeries done and we're going to come back stronger. I 1,000% believe you're going to do that. I will say, though, that like even at the conclusion of that fight, because I saw a lot of the leading into it, where it's like you guys you just hated each other. Like, and then afterwards, it was like, the adrenaline's gone. The buildup is gone. What's done is done. And you guys seemed very cordial, I would say. Like,
it was
like
definitely a lot of respect afterwards. I thought there was anyway. Now I'm questioning it, honestly, on how genuine it was. But she gave me a lot of respect afterwards. I was better than she thought I was gonna be. I think a lot of people underestimated me because I wasn't able to show a lot because I would finish them so fast. So they highly underestimated my actual skill
Right.
for boxing. But I did get respect afterwards, and then I heard some interviews, and I'm like, she said this is what that shot she planned. She had me all figured out. So now I'm questioning like how genuine that respect was. So it was nice to have afterwards, but she might just be saying what she needs to say on interviews and stuff like that. But it's the fight game, and that's my only loss. So I would like to fight when I'm at my best at 145, even though I did fantastic at 35, or 136 to be exact. It is what it is. That's not my weight class. I compromised and put all the cards in her favor to fight her. And if you're wanting to be the queen of violence, I feel like there should be no stipulation.
Right. Yeah. I hopefully I can't imagine somebody not being able to give you the opposite end of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless they were genuinely afraid that they were just about to get an ass whooping and wanted to.
I mean, she's told me face to face she's scared to fight me at 145, and I would be too. But
yeah.
I feel like I put all the cards in her favor. Now it's my turn.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I feel like at that point it's like, okay, who's being paid, what, I guess, like who really wants that fight to happen? Any fight is possible. And I think anybody is typically willing to fight just about anybody for the right payday. But, I don't know. We'll see. I definitely want to see that. I want to see that rematch. I want to see that like normal. Yeah. So I think it'll be, maybe that'll be when they bring in the headbutting and things, and you can throw.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, Jessica, it's been a real pleasure. Guys, make sure you check out Widow's Web. Jessica's
We're
domestic
definitely looking for
violence.
investors and everyone to help us out and get started because we're still trying to get the mobile safe house started. So that's a big thing too. So if anyone's interested in being a part of this, it would be amazing.
Yeah, I think 2026 is going to be the year for that because we're all broke right now.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
Well,
and I
the world
totally
has
get
come
that.
out.
I totally understand that, and I relate to that completely. So I get it. I totally get it.
2026, though, I definitely think is going to be the year for all of us. And what happens in 2027, I don't know, but I think 2026 is going to be a really big year. Everything's lining up for a huge 26. So,
I feel the
uh,
same way.
yeah, hopefully you'll get that rematch in 2026. All of the crypto world will be stupid, filthy rich again. And, and then we'll all be able to start really changing the world and make some cool shit happen.
I'm
So
excited.
I'm excited too. Guys, make sure you check her out online. Jessica, the Black Widow Borga, thank you so much. And I'm
Thank
sure I'll
you.
see you
Everything's
around.
Black Widow Borga. You can find me everywhere.
Yeah, you're all over the internet. I've noticed you're everywhere. So check her out. And until next time, make sure you visit cryptocrow.io and you'll find additional links and things. And until then, crow your coins, and we'll see you again very soon.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming.
If it's bull or bear, I don't care. It's quite a rough ride, just like life. But I'm kind of patient, 'cause only time will tell.